Hello everyone, are you ready for the storms? The storms are coming when Shani enters into the sign of Pisces. Saturn is a wind Vayu planet. Pisces is the sea and the rivers. The storms are coming, everything is whipping up, emotional, transformative. Wow, what a journey lies ahead between March 25 and February 2028. So how will it be for your sign? I have all the details on the video and about the transit in general. If you're new to my channel, of course, don't forget to sub below. Great to have you on board. And if the video is helpful and good for you, give it a thumbs up and share it around. Let's go. And the first storm will come straight away. As soon as Saturn enters the sign, 30th of March until the 18th of May, note the dates carefully, Saturn will be in a conjunction to Rahu, who is coming out of Pisces, and they will clash together at the beginning of Pisces sign. This conjunction happens every 18 years, but in different signs, and hasn't been in Pisces for quite a long time, since the 1960s actually. Now this conjunction needs special consideration, therefore I will put a separate video up soon looking at this, but I will mention it surely here, so get ready for the whipping up energy the minute actually Saturn enters into Pisces. Of course, every time Saturn transits any sign, he will have 3 major retrograde periods. So between July, November 25, July, December 26, and August, December 27, he will become especially strong and potent. Take a note of the dates, and again, we will discuss them as they arrive. Please note carefully, though, that before Saturn completes his Pisces transit, he will go ahead swiftly into the sign of Aries between the 3rd of June 27 until October 27. Then, of course, he will retrograde back again to complete the transit in Pisces. And between October 27th and the final date of the 23rd of Feb 28, when he leaves the sign of Pisces, Saturn becomes so potent to bring those big changes. Don't forget, everybody, Saturn delays his effect. So the biggest, most momentous changes will happen between the autumn 27 and 23rd of Feb 2028. Which is why, everyone, I want to draw your attention now briefly to the final days of Saturn's transit in Aquarius. Between the time I am putting up this video, February 25, and the end of March, March the 30th, these moon signs in particular, Aries moon, Virgo moon, Sagittarius moon, Vedic Astrology moon sign, they have enormous favor. Saturn is coming to the end of his transit in Aquarius, and he will give these signs blessings during this time. This could be anything such as special opening, promotion, special friend comes, special person comes, new relationship starts, big move happens, some blessing comes, some problem is resolved. So these moon signs make the most of this favorable factor, February, March 25. It affects ascendants as well, definitely, but especially these moon signs. Let's look at the astrology, everybody. Wow, you can see how dramatic it is. On the 30th of March 25, Shani will enter the sign of Pisces fully, where he will conjunct with Rahu, the North Node, straight away. But it is during a solar eclipse with Mercury and Venus, those 2 Rajastic planets. All that Rajas, all of that passion sandwiched in between the malefics, the sun, Rahu and Shani. Wow, this is a really dramatic beginning to the Saturn Pisces transit. So we have a stellium happening in the sign of Pisces. Now, don't become afraid of this. Don't get anxiety rising, looking ahead to this eclipse, thinking, oh my goodness, everything's going to fall apart. It is going to be a little bit stressful. I wouldn't be telling the truth if I didn't say that, everybody. But no, this is happening wherever Pisces is in your chart for a purpose. Don't forget. But I will deal with the effects of this eclipse and of the Saturn-Rahu conjunction, everybody, in separate videos. But let's discuss the general effects, everyone, of Saturn in Pisces sign. Don't forget, this is a long-term transit. Well, after all of this has dissipated, Saturn continues on there until 2028. What is Saturn doing when he's in Pisces? First of all, does he like to be here? Yes and no. He is neutral towards Guru and he gets benefit from Guru, definitely. He is third to his own sign. Makra, Capricorn, third away. So Saturn gets a lot of wisdom, knowledge, certain amount of power here, particularly for deep study. So Saturn in Pisces favors students of all sorts, students in academic work, student in occult study, astrology definitely, any study whatsoever. This transit of Saturn Pisces gives you insight. Apply yourself to your studies. Good results will be there. But even if you are not a student, everybody gets very introspective during this Saturn Pisces transit. People are concerned with their own psychological, mental states a lot more, no matter how extrovert you are normally. Saturn Pisces makes everybody think a lot about things. Basically, people are concerned with their own problems. It's a very internalized transit. Why? Because Saturn is in the sign of the natural 12th house. So it gives this general feel. Everybody becomes a little more self-focused. This can have positive but also a few negative effects. And this increase in personal sensitivity affects everybody because Saturn has an 8th aspect to the relationship sign Libra, 6 signs back to this Saturn. And this will affect business, self-employed people as well. 2 areas where things become confused and a little bit hypersensitive then are personal, intimate relationships and business. But this is a generalized effect, don't forget. It will affect everybody to some extent. So to get the best from this Saturn Pisces, I would advise everybody to be very open. Have open communication with your partner, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend at all times to avoid suspicion, fear, anxiety taking hold unnecessarily. Same in your business, partnership, business situation. Get everything on the table. Don't have secretive plans or it could all just go very messy indeed. Now, Saturn's Drishti onto Taurus, third away, and actually onto Virgo. Both deal with landed interests such as farming, crop production, animal husbandry, this sort of thing. So farmers particularly get a lot of stress, I'm afraid, during this Saturn Pisces. And sometimes even food shortages could be there. Some places, sometimes. And don't forget, Saturn has a 10th aspect right the way around to Sagittarius here. This is the sign of spirituality. And everybody in Saturn Pisces transit gets serious about belief systems. Some people change religion. Some people go through doubts about spiritual philosophical factors. Expect to do a lot of consideration around what you really believe in life. This is going to happen to many people generally through the transit. And Saturn's putting pressure onto organized religion generally. So organized religion systems could have leadership changes, confrontations, difficulties happening during this Saturn Pisces transit. In summary, it's an introspective and a little bit obsessive transit. You see, Saturn is in the sign of K2, and this is the most important thing to note. When Saturn is in K2 sign, Saturn K2 is a control aspect. Everybody has got this wind dispersing energy feel now. Saturn Pisces will disperse things in everybody's life. Of course, we can't control the wind, and trying to tie everything down, control everything is never going to work. But some people will benefit. Who? People who need or have the desire to go into retreat, meditation, deep spiritual wisdom will benefit, particularly mindfulness, meditation, letting things go. This is a real Saturn K2 factor. If you have ever wanted to learn to meditate, everybody, do a mindfulness course, anything such as this, sign up as soon as you can, because Saturn in Pisces will give you success and you will avoid some of the pitfalls that many people will experience during this totally transformative emotional roller coaster, which is Saturn in the sign of Mina, Pisces. Now, what about the special effects for certain signs? They will be there. Let's have a look at them. For 3 moon signs, not ascendant, moon sign, they will be going through the Sade Sati 7.5-year Saturn transit during Saturn in Pisces. They are Aries moon, Pisces, and Aquarius moon sign. For Aries moon, they are starting the first 2.5 years. For Pisces, they are right in the middle of the Sade Sati, where Saturn comes to the moon. And Aquarians, they are actually going into the last 2.5 years of the Sade Sati transit. So if your Vedic moon is in Aries, Pisces, Aquarius, please check the video linked below, Sade Sati, to learn more about the different phases of this transit. And there are remedies also for you should you want to try those. Take note if your Vedic moon sign, however, is Taurus, Libra, or Capricorn, ascendant to some extent, but especially moon, you are going to get special blessing because Saturn transits the 3, 6, 11 houses from your moon. And this gives Saturn's most beneficial long-term blessings. He rarely gives these, but when he does, they are permanent. So please check out the video on my channel about Saturn's special blessing transit. The link is below. Check it out carefully to understand more about the transit. Now, a very important factor called Saturn Return happens to certain birth years. Generally, if you were born between 1967 to 69, 96 to 98, but please check individual horoscope. Obviously, Saturn was in the sign of Pisces when you were born. So when he returns to this sign, it's a turning point. It's a favorable thing. Don't take the negativity that Saturn return is bad. It isn't. It changes all of your karmas, turns things around, wipes out debt. It's a brand new beginning. Check the video on my channel, Saturn Return. Once again, link is below to learn more about this favorable factor and this new beginning. How to use the readings, everybody. Most important, we are using a sidereal Vedic horoscope to see our ascendant and our moon sign, not tropical Western chart at any time. If you are not sure about your Vedic moon ascendant, check the link below to a website, Deva Guru. Put in your birth data. Bring up those 2 important markers for yourself. And if you should have a D9 Navamsa horoscope for yourself, please use it as well. Particularly reading from the moon in your D9 will definitely give you deep insights into the transit. And finally, please note when there is a real difference between the actual reading from the moon or the ascendant, do not fear, I will always point this out. For Aries moon, Aries ascendant, wow, Saturn's going into the 12th house of your chart in the sign of Pisces. Now, if you listen to what I said beginning of the video, this applies to you particularly. It's an introspective 2.5, 3 years. Aries, well, you don't like this stuff so much, but you're going to benefit by it tremendously. The thing is, you're starting a whole new phase of your life. Some of you, moon in Aries, it's the beginning of Sade Sati transit. Check the link below to learn about that first phase of your 7.5-year transit. And if you are ascendant Aries too, this is a transformative time. So many factors of your life are subtly dissolving, even though success is strong. There are many good things happening, like Rahu going into your 11th house, video coming up soon. Many favorable factors, but something is dispersing and it will happen slowly. So it's a turnaround transit for Aries, moon and ascendant. Of course, right away, Saturn conjuncts Rahu, your 11th house lord, creating disturbances in your friendships, financial situation. I will put a video about that, but that will disperse quickly. This Saturn is going to give you tremendous inner strength, actually. Very deep introspection, but inner strength for all Aries, moon and ascendant. The general effect of Saturn 12th house, of course, as I say, pushing you inwards to introspection. Spiritual factors are benefited. If you are in any religious organization or part of any religious cultural group, you're going to be rethinking what your place is, how much you need to commit to this organization, because Saturn aspects fall on the 9th house of your chart. You may be traveling a lot, many of you, during this period, but stress in your foreign travel connections may be there time to time. But connecting to people in far distant shores could be karmically important for you during this time. One thing, you will have anxiety, because Saturn 12th house gives an increase in this subtle anxiety. Learn to control this during the transit for your health benefit to improve. You need to get enough sleep, rest, relaxation, Aries, during this time. You can put a lot of pressure onto yourself, and this can increase anxiety. So don't go all out. Pace yourself carefully during this Saturn 12th house transit. Students are going to benefit, as I say, generally from this, particularly Aries, moon, ascendant students. Self-study, introspective research. Research students, fantastic results going to happen, but you've got to be independent, because Saturn aspects 9th house. You can have problems with your teachers, lecturers, misunderstandings, feel like they are not helping you anymore. They are, but you've got to do it for yourself. Become an independent study person. You will get so much success. So many revelations come to you. Fantastic research time. Good for occult study, astrology, definitely. Many insights come for pilgrimage and for renewed spiritual inspiration. This is a very important transit for all Aries. However, getting good advice, you need to look around. You need financial advice, so definitely. Saturn is going to increase expenses all the way through the transit. Can't be avoided, because he's in the house of expenses and he aspects 2nd house. You're going to have to curtail spending, but you will get definite inspiration how to make money work for you. So financial security can increase. Some Aries, definitely. You're going to be very much in tune with family members during this time, or rather you're going to be in touch with them a lot, but in tune, sorry, I meant to say maybe not, because Saturn aspects 2nd house. You've got high moral values, which may conflict with your family members during this time. You could feel a little bit alienated from them. Some Aries, moon and ascendant. Of course, watch your health. Particularly workplace stress can increase. Difficulty with your colleagues, workmates. Be careful, don't get involved in office politics. The worst thing you can do is to get involved in office disputes. It will not go well for you. Stand aloof, Aries, from all of these internal politics. They do not help you during this time. If you have pets, small animals, they can be having stresses, but you will attend to them and you will definitely overcome any problems they are having slowly throughout the transit. Pay attention to your own health. 2 things, digestion and food. You could lose weight, some of you, because you become very austere, very strict in your eating habits. This may be good or bad. Always consult about dietary changes during the transit. They are crucial for your health concerns during the Saturn 12th house. In your intimate personal relationships, Saturn has a 6-8 aspect to the house of partner. You're becoming a little bit independent from your spouse. Maybe this is just necessary because there is more time apart due to job concerns, family concerns. You will have time to reflect on your relationship issues, but be careful to get a clear connection to your spouse partner. Don't let secrecy, misunderstandings come between you. Open communication at all time will cement relationships. Don't forget this. By the way, if I didn't say it, father could be having health issues as well, because Saturn aspects his house. But for many of you, it's about authority figures. You are not getting on with them. You are seeing real differences develop. Stay aloof from any open confrontation with authority figures, teachers, gurus, etc. Do things your way. Don't let these confrontations become serious roadblocks for you. So it's an independent time. It's a turning inward time, but strength and resilience comes to all Aries, Moon and Ascendant during Saturn Pisces transit. For Taurus Moon, Taurus Ascendant, this is the transit you've been waiting for. Saturn's been so long in your 10th house, giving you stress, workplace stress, so much work you couldn't do it, you felt overwhelmed. You're going to pace yourself and get tremendous success in this Saturn 11th house transit. It's good from Ascendant and the Moon, but particularly from the Moon, and you should definitely check out Saturn Transit 3611 video, link is below, because this Saturn will give you the gains. Eventually in this transit, no matter how stressful to begin with, because don't forget Rahu conjunct Saturn and this Pisces sign gets overwhelmed, other videos coming up soon deal with that. So as this transit goes on, you will get more and more steady, more and more relaxed about life direction, and success, doors opening is definitely going to happen, particularly in the last 6 months. So time ahead to come, I know. But at the end of this transit, the real blessings come. So Saturn's going to clamp down and then he's going to free you from so many restrictions. This is one of the best transits of Saturn you could possibly have. And Saturn is your yoga karaka, but he is Vedic house lord. So he's going to give you some stresses to begin with. What with? With your friendship network circles. You're going to be cutting down unnecessary time spent with not very helpful friends. So even on your social media, you'll be cutting out connections to people who are just not there for you anymore. You want real, true friends, real, true connections during the transit. And the good news, you will get them. To begin with, it will seem like all of your social network is disintegrating. There's nobody left, but those who are there are your true friends. So true friendship, true support, that's what you are giving others, and that's what you are seeking during the transit. And by the way, at the very end of the transit, someone special is going to come, some special friend, even relationship, even marriage, some Taurian. So at the end of this Saturn transit, the true connections who will be with you for a very long time come into your life. Good job, Taurians. Are patient. Don't forget, Saturn gives his best effects towards the final months of his transit. He always delays everything. He wants to test you. Are you up for this? Taurus, you definitely are. And you will get promotion sometime. You will get increased income, definitely. All of your financial problems, which have been very acute, will calm down. Saturn aspects first house. Your focus will increase tremendously on the job and in all your projects during this transit. Students have felt a bit isolated last 2.5 years because Saturn is your 9th lord, learning, education. But now he's in the house of social networks. You will cut down excessive social interaction, but the friends who you have will help you study, be really good study buddies for you. So you're going to get the absolute best help on the education course from unexpected quarters, many of you, I would say, during the next 2.5 years. And because Saturn aspects Ascendant, you'll be taking care of your health. And he aspects 8th house. Many of you get rid of long-term chronic health issues by enormous discipline, increasing exercise, focus, diet changes. Big health changes happen because you are focused to improve your own health. Saturn gives you enormous responsibility to do this during the transit. So it's such a favorable place for taking responsibility for your own well-being. This is excellent. Saturn aspects 5th house, of course, so kids could be having problems. One area will be children. Perhaps there will be delay to expected pregnancy, some of you, or to some issues with that occasionally. Whole chart has to be seen, not necessarily, but you will certainly have issues with your kids, that they could be having stresses. Don't come down heavy on your kids. Saturn is a disciplinarian. Let your kids be. Everything will sort out fine. One thing to watch out for, Saturn is going to give you increased income, definitely, but you may be tempted into speculation, risky ventures. Saturn aspect stock market house. Be careful. Take advice. Saturn does not favor speculation so much here. Now, whole chart has to be seen, but definitely long-term investments are well starred for business people and for everybody financially. And business people, self-employed, wow, you'll be cutting back on some old business partnerships, shifting everything around. You may even decide to go it alone business-wise. This would be very successful, some of you, but just talking to your business partner, they will be on your side. You are going to make big changes so that you are much more streamlined in your independent business, and enormous profits coming during the whole of this Saturn Pisces transit. For Gemini moon and ascendant, for both the moon and ascendant, Saturn in the 10th house is going to put pressure onto you, particularly workplace, of course, because 10th house is your career. You're going to get so much work done, but half the time it will begin to feel like a burden. This is the thing. Saturn 10th house is a very stressful position, but benefits long term will be there. Do not fear. Please note it's different for the moon and ascendant. From ascendant, this is direction. So Saturn here gives you burdens, stresses in the workplace with your boss maybe, but you know what you are aiming for. So you will just plod on relentlessly. That will generally happen. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but from the moon, it's a bit more stressful. Why? Because this is called a Kantakashani, like a thorn in your side. Emotionally, moon in Gemini feels stressed by their superiors, by their colleagues, by the whole work setup. You're feeling emotionally cornered, and this is where moon Gemini need to take it slow. You definitely need to take care of your health. Cut back work involvement should you need to. Make it manageable for you, particularly from the moon. This will become important. Now, you could get extra responsibility though, moon and ascendant. Saturn's going to put pressure on your shoulders. Everybody's saying you've got to do it. You've got to take control of it. This feeling will be there. You can't quit though. That's the thing. Saturn 10th house doesn't make it easy to just step aside from work responsibilities. Just pace yourself. Moon particularly, but ascendant also. But Saturn's third aspect is to the 12th house. There'll be many secrets, many undercover moves going on in career. Some of you even have a little bit of a job on the side, but be careful. Saturn says curtail expenses. You're going to have to watch for unexpected expenses during the whole transit. So as I say, it's not easy just to leave a job because there are many financial commitments as well. If you are a business person, Saturn full-on aspect to this 7th house. It's time to really get to work in some brand new business venture, but it's going to be hard. Profits don't come overnight, but what you do business-wise during the next 2.5 years lays the actual ground for enormous profit after this transit. In fact, check beginning of the video, Saturn goes into Aries sign before he actually leaves Pisces for good. So profits coming soon, but a lot of hard work. Gemini moon and ascendant business person. More commitments than you ever expected. That's the thing. Be careful foreign ventures though. Traveling as well could become stressful. Geminis like to be on the move, but foreign travel during this Pisces transit could become difficult, stressful at times. And your home life needs attention. Saturn's full-on drishti onto this fourth house. Some of you want to move, but you're stopped from moving. Some of you want to make changes into your domestic issues, landed interest, property issues, but there are many delays. Work with these, don't give up. In the end, you will get the right domestic setup for yourself. Just plod on quietly. Domestic situation is becoming more secure, even though it seems pressured. Saturn is about repairing everything, renewing everything. So a lot of DIY stuff has to be done. Maybe you're going to have to attend to it. And mother may be having stress as well. Some of you, moon and ascendant. In your intimate relationships, it's full on because Saturn aspects 7th house. You've got to have conversations with the spouse. Listen to what I said beginning of the video. Saturn Pisces makes everybody a little stressed about relationships. It's a general trend. You're trying to get things committed, settled. So maybe marriage plans have to be delayed. Maybe you're looking at a relationship thinking, is this really right for me? Don't make sudden moves. Have deep conversations with your spouse. Things will settle down because Saturn is about responsibility, commitment. Keep it in mind. For Cancer moon and ascendant, Saturn's your 7th house lord, a serious planet for you, enemy to your moon though. So he always puts pressure on you, but now he's going to pressure you for your life direction. He's making you sit still and think, what do I really want to do with my life? During the next 2.5 years, serious philosophical, religious factors come up as well. So Cancers are thinking about life direction, meaning, and this is a serious time for students as well. Students have to make serious decisions about the course, but don't give up. It's going to feel overburdened at times because Saturn is in the house of higher education, giving you stresses with your teachers, lecturers, course leaders as well. But if you apply yourself, Saturn aspect 6th house, you will do the course. You will get success. But it's going to be a pressure on you. That's the thing. Don't give up. Long-term success is definitely there because Saturn aspects 11th house, which is about profit coming long-term through your educational commitment. Saturn aspects 11th house though, so it's about getting friends on your side. Saturn can show that you're beginning to doubt friends, doubt commitments of friends to yourself during this time. It's about what you believe in though. Do they share your deep philosophical, political, even commitments? If they don't, there's going to be splits, difficulty in your friendship network circle. Same thing happens with your siblings. Siblings, elder siblings, younger siblings are going to be having many stresses and you will be called on to help them right the way through the transit. There's a big connection karmically to siblings for all Cancer moon and ascendant during this Saturn Pisces transit. Watch your speech communication though. It's becoming a little bit harsh sometimes, and this can actually drive people away from you. Friends perhaps occasionally, but family as well. You're going to have difficulties with your neighbors, so don't get into quarrels, contentions. Keep yourself focused on your internal concerns. Commitment to deep philosophical factors help you find what you really believe in and commit yourself to it. This is going to help you so much. Saturn is in the house of foreign lands, of course. Foreign travel can be difficult, stressful during this time. You may have to curtail foreign travel commitments, some of you, during the transit. But you can't curtail the hard work. Saturn aspects 6th house. This is good. Saturn aspects the house for which he is Karaka. So you will get on top of health issues. Saturn is in the house of advisors. New medical help comes, new medical advice. And finally, you're going to sort some long-standing health issues. This is extremely favorable. You're going to commit yourself to extra work in every sphere, actually. So you're not feeling lazy. That's the thing. You just need to find what you believe in. By the way, Saturn is in the house of the boss, superior. You may get a very difficult boss superior during this time. Be careful, don't get into office politics. Saturn aspects the house of the work colleagues. Don't get into quarrels, contention in your workplace environment. Stand aloof from this at every moment. Pets, small animals could be having stresses, but again, Saturn is strong, aspecting 6th house, you will sort them. So it's a hard working, focused transit, and the good thing, Saturn is out of the difficult 8th house. All of those unexpected happenings will calm down. You are thinking about the future, and this is good. For Leo, Moon and Ascendant, Saturn's gone to the 8th house of your chart. Now the time for transformation, for change is upon you. It's not going to be easy, but the silver lining I will put to you straight away. Saturn is the lord of your 6th house. Therefore, when he's gone to the 8th, it is like a Vipri Raj Yoga. You will get out of the most amazing sticky situations, but only if you are patient. Leo, thank goodness you can be patient. You're going to have to be during the transit. From the moon, it's the Astam Shani time. There's going to be all sorts of hurdles, unexpected factors coming up that you didn't plan for. If you expect the unexpected, you will not be thrown off. Don't become reactive. Don't get into a big temper tantrum trying to control everything. You can't control the wind. Check the beginning of the video. But these transformations are going to give you long-term blessings, believe me. And the same from Ascendant. Changes are happening in your business situation, in your investments, financial affairs. Many family issues come up, family ill health, family difficulty happen unexpectedly during this 2.5, 3-year transit. But the biggest place will be workplace. Saturn's aspect onto the 10th house means that suddenly workplace becomes burden. Now this could happen many different ways. First thing is, there can be changes in the whole work environment. 10th house is the actual workplace itself. So you'll feel pressured by many different unexpected changes happening in your career. Leo, Moon and Ascendant. Now, it isn't going to happen overnight, although Saturn, Rahu does give sudden factors to begin with, video coming up soon. But during the next 3 years, there could be new boss, superior, difficult work environment stresses that throw you. Sometimes even job loss may occur. Some people, once again, this will be unexpected, something you were not able to plan for. So best advice I can give to Leos is let things go. When the whole workplace gets stressful, difficulty happens, redundancy, some people, difficult workplace changes stressing you out, colleague problems, boss problems, let it be. Stand aside, stand back. Go with the flow of things. I know Leos don't like to do this, but if you do, you will be so glad because these changes are karmic. Saturn is your 6th house lord. He will put you into a good position long term. Let it go. Something better is definitely coming. It's a great time for students. So Saturn 8th house says research study, private study is excellent. Occult study, definitely astrology, people benefit. You'll be cutting yourself off a little bit to do this study and you're going to get great success. Saturn aspects 5th house. The most enormous amount of learning can be done by students, but wow, it's going to be pressured. There's no doubt. However, if you are an independent business person, this could be good. If you cut yourself off from excessive demands, you can restructure a whole business creatively during the transit. But you have to limit things. You have to cut back, not expand. That's the key. Now, Saturn is your 7th house lord partner. Going into the 8th house, partner can be having financial stress, difficulty, health issues, and this can be stressful, no doubt. But the main thing is that Saturn here puts stress onto the relationship, but that would have been there for some time. You have to make a decision. Saturn 8th house says, are you going in the same direction? If you're not, maybe some of you have to go separate ways occasionally. More than often, though, you're going to commit to really strengthen relationship ties. Why? Because Saturn aspects 5th house. You want serious long-term commitment, family concerns. You are seriously committed to your kids. So this is a really big factor. Check what I said beginning of the video. Saturn Pisces means that everybody gets a bit anxious about relationships. So if you want to make this relationship work, open communication with your spouse will help it happen. But there can be stresses with family in-laws that you've definitely got to deal with on the path ahead. For Virgo, moon and ascendant, Saturn's gone into the 7th house of your chart. This is a powerful position for Saturn to transit, but it's very different from moon Virgo to ascendant Virgo. Let's have a look at this. From the moon, it's more emotional, more stressful, but from ascendant, it's easier because Saturn is in a Digbala strong position from Virgo ascendant. But both moon and ascendant Virgos are going to make important relationship decisions, not overnight, but definitely over the next 2.5 years. Do you commit to the relationship you want to? Do you go together to the next phase in a committed relationship? So serious matters have to be considered. And the need for communication is there from ascendant and the moon, but especially the moon, because Saturn opposing the moon can make moon Virgos feel very stressed during this transit, like everybody's pressuring you. But actually, all they desire is open communication. Moon Virgo can become a little bit detached in their intimate personal dealings. Try to become open at all times. Partner may be having health issues too, needs your help. So I can't say it's going to be stress-free, but if you commit to open communication, relationships can be helped tremendously. It's not a time for half measures, though. Saturn in the 7th house says commit or split, basically. So Virgos get very serious about making relationships work. And this applies to business Virgos as well. Business people can do very well starting up a whole new venture, sometimes working from home, sometimes committed to foreign trade as well. But it's going to be slow. It isn't going to take off overnight. It's a long-term prospect. I would say narrow things down to the most concrete factors and don't overexpand in any business venture during this Saturn transit in Pisces. Now, students get really serious. Saturn aspects 9th house. You're going to make serious decisions about study because Saturn aspects 9th and the 4th house, both these are about studying. So students make a serious commitment to the course or they decide, no, I can't do it anymore. It's a make or break situation for students. But if you continue, you will get success. Saturn shows don't get into quarrels with your teachers, lecturers, even moving home to a quieter study space, making big domestic changes helps students to get focused. So it's a good study time, but an independent study time. That's the thing. Father can be having problems, mother as well, because 4th house, 9th house aspected. Saturn 7th house puts a lot of responsibility onto Virgo's shoulders during the transit. And take care of your health because Saturn aspects Moon or Ascendant. Get yourself disciplined. You can get fitter. Get yourself really into a very good diet as well. Moon is our food intake. Saturn aspects the Moon. You're going to have to change your whole dietary routine. But Saturn gives you discipline. Virgos are very disciplined, systematic people. And this 7th house Saturn will increase this. So do not fear. Health improves with a very disciplined, focused approach. For Libra, Moon and Ascendant, Saturn is a yoga karaka for you, and he's going into one of his most powerful houses, the 6th house of your chart. It won't be easy to begin with, but very soon all of the stresses and difficulties will resolve. You will deal with many difficult situations successfully. If you have legal cases, you will win. If you have health issues, you will overcome them. If you have workplace stress, you will completely obliterate all of the obstacles. If you are seeking a job, employment, if you are seeking higher position, you will get it. You will get everything here. Do not be afraid to be a little bit competitive. Librans are competitive. People don't see it, but you are. Now is the time to stretch yourself. Absolute success guaranteed. Slowly over time. This is the thing. Be patient, but go for all of those goals you put to one side. You will achieve them. Join the transit, particularly from Moon, but Ascendant also. Saturn, 6th house. Saturn gets strength. He destroys all of the health issues. You don't believe this because they're all coming up again, but they're coming up to be completely eradicated. Slowly during the next 2.5, 3 years, health improves. But not just your health. What about the workplace stress? Saturn's going to bring you more burdens in the workplace, but you will take them on and you will get so much praise for this. Saturn aspects 3rd house. If you need to go for any job interview, you will be successful. It's good for business people, expanding business slowly but with restraint. Saturn aspects 8th house. You're going to have to cut back on the whole business enterprise, but this streamlined business will become more successful. There can be stresses, legal aspects around wills, legacies, inheritance, business concerns, even business partnerships, but you will come out on top. You will win in any legal cases. If you have debt, though, be careful. Saturn, 6th house, says deal with the debt first and foremost. Saturn aspects 12th house. You've got to get on top of all the expenses. Then profits are coming in big time. Intimate relationships and issues with your kids have been very stressful during the last 3 years, but they're going to settle quickly. Children get more stability. Children you've been worried about, older children perhaps you can worry less. In your intimate relationship, you've got to sort out a lot of financial dealings between you, and there may be a few issues with your in-laws to deal with. Stresses there, but on the whole, it's a successful factor because Saturn helps you to deal with everything as a partnership, which is what Librans love to do. You love to consult. You love to do everything with your spouse. This makes you happier. For Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Ascendant, Saturn's gone into the 5th house, house of romance, love, creativity, children, and education. But Saturn gets quite stressed when he's in a trine house like this. So you'll be putting effort into these areas, but it will take some time to be successful. First of all, creative endeavors. If you are a creative, artistic person in any sphere, you're going to put serious work into this, and ultimate success will be there. But it's a bit of a slog. Creative ideas may even seem to completely dry up. Don't lose faith. Long term, it's going to be good. Students, it's a really hard-working time. Saturn in the 5th house can make education seem a slog again, but with complete effort, you will get success. You may have many moments when you just feel like giving up the whole course. Keep on going. Success comes with long-term commitment. If you're starting a family, there can be delays coming to these plans. There may be financial constraints, all sorts of things. There can be stresses with your partner about children and how to deal with them, some of you. But good news, these will take care of themselves. Don't forget, Saturn aspects family. You're going to have a lot of family changes, family upheavals as well, but you will deal well with them. So there's a lot on your plate. We cannot say otherwise when Saturn goes into the 5th house in this Pisces transit. But if you are a business person, it's going to be good. Saturn aspects 7th house. You will start a new business enterprise. You will get ultimate profit, success, because Saturn aspects house of gain. But you will have to do it for yourself. Business partners don't agree with you. People don't want to do things the way you would like to. So self-starters, this can be a favorable transit for you. Now, intimate relationships, it's a big thing. Saturn is about serious long-term commitment. He's gone into the house of romance. If you are in a romantic relationship, you will be seeking permanent commitment during this Saturn Pisces transit. But if your partner, girlfriend, boyfriend doesn't want that, this is going to cause stress. That's for sure. And Saturn aspects relationship house. So partner, spouse, committed relationship could be having health issues, stresses, and you are going to have to deal with these as well. Financially, it can be good if you avoid speculation. Saturn does not favor risk-taking when he's in the 5th house. You have to take care with this, certainly. You're going to have stresses in your friendship network circles. There can be distance with some long-term friends here. You need to be open with your friends. Don't cut yourself off from them, or actually, when you need them, they may not be there. You have to be careful about this. Family commitments, as I say, are very important. Watch your health. Watch your diet. Diet needs careful consideration because Saturn aspects the house of food all the way through the transit. Sagittarius, Moon and Ascendant. Saturn's been quite successful for you the last 3 or 4 years, giving you openings, jobs, progress, success, communication skills. Certainly now, though, he's going to be a little bit more demanding. He's going into the 4th house, home, domestic situation. Big changes have to be made. He's putting stress into your family situation, mother perhaps, and work stress becomes acute. But Saturn in this Kendra house means that you have to take on a lot of obligations. You can't avoid them. That's the thing. It's much better from the ascendant than the moon, though, because from the moon it becomes a Saturn dire, where Saturn puts a bit of a thorn in you in the home situation. But don't fear, Sagittarians are adaptable people, so whether it's moon or ascendant, you will get many domestic issues sorted, even though for the first year or two it's going to be quite stressful. But once again, there's a real difference between the moon in Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. For the moon, it's much more stressful because this is a Kantaka Shani. This is a thorn in your side when all sorts of domestic and family hassles get you down. Stay firm, stay with it. You will soon get control of these difficult situations and feel much more secure about them from the moon. From ascendant, it's a little bit easier. Why is that? Because ascendant is your whole life direction. So from the moon, it's more about intimate relationships, domestic stress, dealing with other people who you live with. Whether from ascendant, it's about new direction, career direction, home direction, working from home, working from the office, making huge changes here for Sagittarius, Moon, Ascendant. This is life-changing transit, but it can be successful for you no matter how stressful. So for Moon and Ascendant, though, Saturn aspects 6th house. Now, he likes to aspect 6th house because he is Karaka for this house. So you will get a lot of work accomplished. All of those domestic jobs you've been putting off, you will put them off no longer. You will make huge domestic changes that actually free up so much energy in your life. But you may do too much at once. Pace yourself. Listen to the beginning of the video. Saturn makes everybody a little bit anxious when he goes into Pisces. So you will be anxious about domestic concerns, family concerns during the transit. Now, Saturn's so potent for Sagittarians, tempts you to do everything at once. Sagittarians like to take on a lot of things, like to juggle many balls, right? You can't do it now. So don't take on health challenges, new diet, exercise, and work changes and domestic changes all together. Pace yourself, do them slowly, separately, then you are definitely getting to a much more secure position in your life. But the most difficult place will be the workplace. There's going to be stress in the work situation with your colleagues, with your boss. You're going to feel like nothing you do satisfies anybody. But stick with it. That's the thing. If you try to get another job, it isn't going to be so easy now because Saturn is not in the good place he was before. But if you stick with things, if you manage things, all of these workplace, superior, colleague stress will dissipate as this transit continues. So stick with it. It's going to get easier as Saturn gets through Pisces. Do not fear. And Saturn aspects Ascendant, you're going to become so disciplined about fitness, health, everything. You could be even a little bit austere. So, as I say, don't become all or nothing. That's important. For Capricorn Moon, Capricorn Ascendant, you've been waiting for this for a long time. Saturn is your Lord. And when he goes into the 3rd house of your chart, finally, everything will begin to fall into place. Don't forget, Saturn is very emotional when it's in Pisces. Saturn gets a lot of anxiety, and you tend to anxiety anyway. So a certain amount of anxiety comes at the beginning of this transit. But after that, all the doors open up to you. Saturn gives you excellent communication. Superiors are impressed with you. If you have competitive situation, job interviews during this 2.5, 3 years, you can definitely be successful. It's one of the most successful Saturn transits. So finally, you are coming out of the Sati period, of course. Finally, all of those chains holding you down are becoming loosened. This is a great feeling. Although you can't quite believe it, it is definitely happening. Watch communication, though, with your father, superiors, teachers, lecturers. There could be stresses, but students benefit from research, quiet study, Saturn aspects 12th house. In fact, foreign travel, foreign lands, distant shores in any way, internet, business, foreign trade, all of these things are extremely beneficial. Saturn aspects 12th house and 9th house, far distant shores, are very helpful to you, very profitable for all Capricorn Moon and Ascendant during the transit. You'll be thinking about philosophy, religion, even gurus, teachers, making big decisions about what you truly believe in. Some of you make enormous changes in these areas during the transit. And you become quietly creative. Saturn aspects 5th house, romantic situations. Some of you propose, some of you get married, some of you decide this relationship has to become more permanent. So it's a time for definite relationship decisions, commitments, marriage, and even some of you locating to a far distant shore. All of this that you've been thinking about for so long, you can finally commit to it. This is really favorable. It's a great 2.5 years to do something different skill-wise. Learn a new skill. Meditation, relaxation, definitely. Any occult study, perhaps. Saturn aspects 12th house. Astrology, certainly. Or any academic study. Whatever study course you start now, you will give everything to it and be absolutely successful. And it's a great time to start an internet business, self-employment. Saturn third house is entirely independent. You do it your way for yourself and all of the doors open. Wow, what an opportunity for Capricorn moon and ascendant. For Aquarius moon and ascendant, Saturn is your lord, of course, co-lord with Rahu. He's going into the second house of your chart now. Very important turning point, particularly family affairs, money matters, all of these things. But for the moon, it's a special phase, the last phase of Sati. Please check the video below. The link is below to a video on my channel, Sati, to understand about the final phase. Many more details there to help you through the transit. But from the moon and ascendant both, your attention is fully on your financial affairs, security, and on your property domestic issues throughout the transit. Now, Saturn going into the second house to your sign, of course, gives you a little element of insecurity here. Aquarians don't often feel these sort of jittery feelings because you're a very fixed sign, a very much focused sign, generally speaking. But Saturn in the second house will dissipate focus, and this is the biggest problem for you from ascendant and moon. The big issues for both moon, Aquarius and ascendant is domestic situation. Saturn aspects full on the fourth house. You're going to feel ill at ease in your domestic situation. You want to make big changes, even relocate some of you. But Saturn gives delays, and here's the thing, you're going to have to accept many delays about property, landed interest, sales, purchase, moving, anything connected to your domestic situation. Take it slow. Don't make sudden decisions. You will improve domestic harmony situation, but it's not going to happen overnight. That's the key thing. So patience dealing with domestic situations going to help you. But if you are a business person or you are working from home, you're not going to be able to delay making big changes to your business premises or to your home work environment. Attend to these. It's going to help you definitely. But domestic stress is also family-based because Saturn's gone into the house of family and he is aspecting house of mother. So your mother may be having issues, some of you. This can be a little bit stressful, or the whole family is putting so many demands onto you, but you're going to have to deal with these issues. For some of you, there's going to be many financial difficulties within family circles, quarrels, contention, maybe over property, maybe over wills, legacies even, occasionally. Take it easy. Stress with your siblings may increase even, particularly elder siblings, some of you. If you're a self-employed business person, it's a cutback time, a definite constraint time when you focus on necessary factors of your business, and this cutback will, by the end of this transit, give you enormous profits. On a more personal note, your lord's in the second house. Attend to your diet, attend to your food. You're going to have to make big changes because Saturn aspects the 8th house. Making dietary changes gets rid of many chronic complaints. Do not delay to attend to this. Even teeth may be having problems because Saturn's in house of the mouth. So attend to all of these issues. Don't put them off anymore. Very important factor about Saturn transiting Pisces is a full aspect to the 11th house, friendship networks. Aquarians have a lot of followers. Aquarians interact with so many people. But during this Saturn Pisces, you'll be aware of who is draining you, who is taking your energy. Cut back unnecessary social interaction stabilizes you health-wise and emotionally. Do not be afraid to take these necessary steps. Apart from this, employed Aquarians get a lot of stress in the job situation. Colleagues are not cooperating. Colleagues are demanding a lot of you. Do not get into contention with your work colleagues. This could not go well for you. Watch your speech, connecting to the work environment. Don't say something impulsively, it could go against you. Keep yourself to yourself. Do your job. And Saturn may even give you promotion, extra income. It's very likely because he aspects his own natural house, the 11th house. For Pisces moon and Pisces ascendant, Saturn's going into your first house from your ascendant or from your moon. It's time to get serious. It's time to buckle down and get rid of all the distractions during the next 2.5 to 3 years. Slightly different from the moon ascendant though. From the moon, it's right in the middle of Sati. There is some constraint happening around emotional factors now. You feel yourself becoming increasingly self-focused. And from the moon in particular, you are concerned with who is supporting you, what is supporting you. You may feel isolated. You may feel as though there is not as much support around you. Do not fear. Go within. You're going to find tremendous self-reliance, self-belief. What leaves your life now was never meant to be with you. Let it go. Having a real feeling of trust is going to build up a whole new security for Pisces moon in particular. Because Pisces moon people are very sensitive people, Saturn conjunct the moon, you realize that you cannot allow other people to cause you to become so distracted. It's going to have a big impact in your intimate relationships, certainly. On the other hand, from both moon and ascendant, this self-focus is very productive work-wise. Node Saturn aspects business house and career house. You will achieve so much during this next 2.5, 3 years. You will hardly believe how much you have actually accomplished until you get to the end of this Saturn Pisces transit. It's like somebody's put blinkers on you. What's going on this side of you, that side of you, you're not noticing anymore. Straight ahead, you are focusing straight ahead. And this is extremely productive. Of course, there's going to be clashes happening because Saturn aspects 3rd house, siblings, neighbors, 7th house, intimate partnerships, and the workplace. Many people are going to try to stop you, going to try to contain you because they feel they cannot control you anymore. You see, Saturn coming into 1st house makes you the one who is making decisions about your connections, and people begin to feel that they are not supported by you anymore. Now, this is something that you have to watch out for. Give your full attention to supporting siblings. They may be having issues. Neighbors, don't cut yourself off from your neighborhood. In your intimate relationship, though, it's really important. Partner, girlfriend, boyfriend may feel that you are not caring about them anymore. You are not concerned for them when you are. So keep communication open. Don't forget, everybody's feeling this sort of tension. Check the beginning of the video. It isn't just Pisces, moon and ascendant. So be open communication, open, loving communication with your partner, siblings, and these difficult moments will quickly go away. At the same time, partner may be having issues, tensions as well. So yes, you are constraining life experience, focusing, accomplishing, working hard. Wow, what power. But share tender feelings with the people who you care about. Don't become cut off emotionally. And this actually applies to ascendant and moon Pisces equally. In the workplace, many changes. Many changes. There can be a lot of tension happening there, a lot of stress. Once again, putting on those blinkers, doing your job, doing it well, you will avoid many difficult situations in your career environment. Some of you, though, decide it's time to shift things. It's time to make a big change, and you should be cautious about just changing business career overnight, because Saturn in this position, particularly from ascendant, is in a weak position, and from the moon, you are super sensitive to these insecurities. So big business work changes, it's not easy to make them during this 2.5, 3 years. If you are forced into them, that's okay, but making them off your own back, stick with things. Things will become more productive every day. If you are traveling during this time, the next 2.5, 3 years, it can be stressful for you because Saturn aspects third house, about movement, moving around. So you're going to have to plan things carefully and expect many delays in your travels far and near during the next 2.5, 3 years. If you have any ambitions to write things, communicate, blog, this sort of thing, you can learn skills this year. Saturn aspects a house of skill. Positively, you're going to gain new skills, which will help you in the coming years, definitely. And final thing, as you focus, as you become more grounded, more secure, more confident in yourself, cut yourself off from argument. The most difficult factor is the tendency to argue, because Saturn aspects third house. You will feel that every argument takes something away from you spiritually. Avoid argument, contention right the way through the transit. Best advice I can give. Check out the other videos or the important transits ongoing at the moment. Don't forget to sub to my channel for future videos as well. God bless you all, and goodbye for now.